Let's go over you. Okay. I got you in 2 places now.
I was about to write, why you have me sitting here?
Yep. I got you in more than one. How you doing?
Good. Pretty good.
As good as you can be, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, all things considered.
But I was like, I have some stuff. Well, I don't have a bunch of questions, but I was like, I'm gonna join today. Why not?
Thanks for joining. I'm glad that you did. So we're just kind of letting things kind of happen, come in. But yeah, I'm happy to have you chat. Where's my pen? Let's find the old pen. You know where it is?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. Thank you, sir. So, hi, April. Nice to see you. Just letting people come on in. I'm gonna, oops, swipe here. It's a giant tree coming out of my head over here, which is kind of fun.
It's a pretty tree.
Thank you. Well, you got to see it in real life, which is pretty cool. Okay, I'm just gonna put this other thing over here so I can see if people come in over here. Okay, I think that's what I need to do. Like that, and then like that, and then like, hold on, I'm missing one of them. This one. Okay. And now there's a trash. And people always go, you have trash day today. And I'm like, yes, I do. It is trash day. That is true. Okay, let's jump in, everybody. So answering questions about your mediumship, psychic development, issues that you're having in your mediumship. This is a free service, so get it while it's hot so that we can, you can get your questions answered. So let's start with Janelle, because Janelle's the one right there. And I'm muted.
I had a couple. This one's has to do with healing. The friend I told you about with the daughter with the fever.
Yeah.
It's the fever's back and she's just been throwing up fever for 2 days. They can't diagnose like flu or anything. And they just sent her home and couldn't give her like anything because they couldn't whatever. And I feel like it's a viral something, but she keeps running a fever. So I was going to ask if you have any tips because we're going to do some work tonight.
Yeah. So a couple of things. One of the things that I have noticed works is what I call, this was what I meant to tell everybody in the last healing class and I ran out of time, but it is what I call virus out. So I call it, hey, Linda. It's called virus out. And so what I do, this is actually how I got rid or brought taste back for lost COVID, brought taste back with someone who lost taste due to COVID infection. And so that's how I did it. So what I focused on is like focus on the virus, like sort of like that's what I'm sending is like this like virus out sweeping thing. So I just took my focus and I just put it through them. And it's sort of like you're pushing the virus out of the body. So you're sort of like lifting and going out, lifting, like filling their body and then pulling it out, filling their body and pulling it out. Another way you can do is you can sort of imagine, like, I like to think of it like a laser beam or holographic thing. It's just like this big wall and it just goes, whoa. It's like moving it out. So it's like, as it passes through the body, it's like swiping out viral load and viruses. So that's what I would try to support that. The tricky thing with this healing is that sometimes it's not very effective for things that will just get better on their own. And so like an acute injury or a recent surgery, those things need to just kind of get better kind of on their own. So this is one of those things that it might be, but helping with symptoms is something that we can probably do. So helping to lower the fever, helping to try to get the viral load out as much as possible. Obviously, we don't know which virus it is, but you can sort of focus in on whatever the virus may be.
Yeah. And have you ever done fluids, like given someone just fluids for their body?
I have never
Type
done
of
that.
thing?
No.
Okay.
Have you?
Curious. I think at one time I did it as a side thing, but I was curious about it. And then even like loading the fluids up with stuff, you know what I mean? Like what the body needs right now to help this process type of thing.
I think you can absolutely send the energetic version of what the body needs, and how you would be sending it is through fluids. So to me, that makes a lot of sense. So yeah, I mean, you could do that. I think obviously I would never replace fluids. Like, let me give you some energy in place of fluids. Definitely make sure that they're having their fluids, but you can absolutely send it in a fluid form to them. So yeah.
Okay.
Nat just said, I just tried that literally 1 minute ago. So there you go.
Hi, Nat.
So yeah,
she's funny.
And yeah, so just trying to do your best to get the fever down and that sort of thing. I mean, there's obviously going to be times where it's not going to work for things. She says, hi, Janelle. There's going to be times where it's not going to work, and that's also part of it. Hey, Marvin. So, so yeah, that's how that works.
Yeah, well, Nat tried it because it's her daughter.
Yeah, just put that all together in this exact song.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I learned that.
Well, yeah, if anybody else has questions, I'll.
Julia, do you have any questions? Or are you just kind of watching secretly from the shadows?
I'm just lurking to make you uncomfortable.
I love a lurk, please. And know that you can ask about anything, mediumship, psychic stuff, astrology, healing, literally anything you want. So just throwing that out there. So if you do think of something, you're welcome to talk or put it in the chat, whatever feels better for you. Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, you know, it's a little awkward because I'm driving, so I have to focus on that.
Yeah, of course.
But while I have the podium for a second, how commonly do you use your psychic perception for unimportant things? I know that's kind of broad.
No, but just I like that question. Not often, to be honest. Yeah, not very often. So the thing with me is that I've been developed in a way that things come to me if I need to know them. So I never feel this sense of like, I'm going to use my ability to find something. I'm going to just let it come to me if the spirit or my guides or whatever need me to know something. And usually they'll give me some sort of sign or something internally of like, hey, pay attention. So yeah, that I don't really ever have to kind of think of that to do that. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. And also, you know, I'm glad you mentioned lost items, because that's a psychic skill I've always wanted to develop. Is it kind of the same as most of the other techniques we do, where we basically set the intention, but then sitting in the power is the same?
Yeah, so it's one of those things. Lost items are tricky. I like to use astrology to find lost items, actually.
Hell yeah.
But because that's the easiest way. But when it comes to psychically doing it, it's one of those things where you kind of have to let your awareness really let go of an attachment to the outcome to get it, especially if it's your lost item or it's someone who cares about lost item. You have to kind of let your attention soften and relax and not get too attached to the outcome, because if you try to get the information, that's always going to block it. So it's really one of those things of like, I really have to let my awareness be indifferent about the outcome, and then things will start to float to you. So you kind of, it's kind of like, it can be a little bit remote view-y, where you're like, I have a target, and what's the target? Honestly, if anyone's ever going to come to me for that sort of thing, don't give me even that it's a lost item. Just say, I have a target that I want you to see what you pick up on, and then that's it. And like, that's all I would want, because the less information I know, the less sort of in my head I would become. So there's that. Then the other thing I would say is when it comes to the using astrology to do it, you just cast an Ori chart of where's my lost item, use the moon as either the lost item, especially if it's living, or you can use the second house, whatever rules the second house cusp. If it's a smaller item, I don't think you can really lose a place or a building. So you probably would use the second house for your lost items. Or if that's not good, then what you would use is, and by second house, I mean this planet that rules the second house. And then if that doesn't work, then you'd find something that is approximating to a planet that represents that type of thing. So if it's a piece of makeup, you probably would use Venus. If it is, your soccer ball, you're probably going to use something like Mars, right? If it's something that is got a bunch of little pieces, you'd use Mercury, right? So it just depends on what you assign, essentially.
Okay, thank you. That is very helpful. Also, I mean, you said people are, less likely to lose a building, but now you have me curious about the applications of horary astrology for archaeology.
That would be really interesting. I've never done that, but that's actually really, really interesting to explore. Yeah. You'd have to find something that would represent a building, probably something like Saturn, especially slow moving.
And old.
And old, exactly. There you go. And you'd probably want to look at, maybe make the chart represent an area. And then in that way, you'd be able to see, is this closer to something that is high? Is it low? Is it near water? Is it near fire? Like, these different things that the planets can represent also.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So hopefully that's helpful. Thanks, Julia. Other questions, Janelle? Or anyone in any of the chats?
I'm going to share something really quick about, I don't know if you've ever tried this with healing, but my friend Chelsea, she did this on me and it was so effective that I have been using it and it seems to work really well.
Great.
Like whenever there's like a pressure in a place, like for instance, the head, there's like a lot of pressure. She put straws up my nose and in my ears. And basically like just the reference of there being the straw, because I tried to just have it come out, but for some reason using the straws works really well. I don't know why, but it's like, I don't know what it does, but yeah, it's been super, super effective.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. And then I was going to ask, what is your...
Thanks, Mario. Sorry, just someone said your tree looks great, and I want to make sure that they see that I say thank you for that. I need to fix. I'm just realizing if I'm on the live, I need to add like some ribbon that comes down here. Otherwise, it looks a little strange. But anyway, let's keep going, Janelle. Sorry.
Oh, on that side, it still looks good. It belongs in a storefront. So, what is your take and understanding of why, or do you have any idea why the energy would only work one way? Like when I'm working on someone, a lot of times I start feeling all like different things, and I'll even ask, are you having problems with this too? Oh yeah, I didn't want to mention that because my body will feel these different things. And then it goes away, of course, but like I'm so curious of how the energy can go towards somebody and do what it does without there being it coming back, and why only the good works. These are just random, kind of like curiosity.
Sure. So what I would say, you're asking basically, why does the energy without direction also go to the parts that are also needed that maybe is not being mentioned?
No, I'm saying if I want to send good energy, most of the time it works. If I want to send bad energy, I don't feel like that would work. Well, I guess it's just so weird in the realm of the universe. It's basically like only the good is happening. You know what I mean? Only the for better is happening, and how Because I did slightly worry at the beginning taking on an element because I'm an absorber, like big time, and taking on something of somebody else's, which hasn't happened, and I don't foresee it happening. But like, why wouldn't it? You know?
Yeah, so I think part of the thing that I would say here is, could someone send something negative energetically? Probably. And I would say that the reason that I say that is, like, if we look at like the men who stare at goats, right? Like that, I don't know if you've ever heard of that military program where they use their consciousness to stop the goat's heart or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
There is examples of them actually being able to do that using their consciousness. The problem is, when they did that, they suffered a negative reaction to their health and their well-being. So there is a sort of rule of, doing harm has a cost, doing good does not seem to. And so I feel that doing good with what we do is rewarded in some way, and doing negative to others with these kinds of things is not. You know what I mean? So I would say that there does seem to be some kind of thing like that. Just want to quickly say hi to Florian, and thank you for Anna for the compliment on my tree. Everyone's saying you have a nice tree. So I think that is an interesting sort of thing, because I mean, even if you look at the life review, when people talk about their life review, it's always a judgment on what did I do that created more love and what did I do that took away from more love, and you living in those experiences themselves. So to me, there's some kind of objectivity to doing good, creating connection, creating love, that sort of thing being a really incredibly valuable and important piece. So I think there's something in the universe that is directing that. And I also believe that when we talk about healing specifically, it is a healing intelligence. There is something that knows what to do. All we are doing is we are directing, right? We're turning on the floodgates, and then we're allowing it to kind of do its thing. So
Yeah.
it's interesting. There's something to that.
It's been in my brain a little bit because it's kind of witchy-esque a little bit in my world a little bit. And yeah, I like that.
Something I'm just going to respond to really quickly. Does Oakbridge support people along shamanic pathways? My personal experiences line up closely with this. Precognitive dreams, seeing the same animal that other folks don't see, etc. I'm looking for training and mentorship or a teacher. Does Oakbridge do that sort of thing? We don't focus specifically on any kind of shamanic pathway. However, everything that we teach you will support in any pathway of other awareness, as I would call it, because we teach you fundamentals on how spirit communication, connecting with the other world, using your other awareness, supports and interacts with anywhere you direct it. So it doesn't really matter whether you're doing shamanic work or these sorts of things. If you're talking about having an awareness that can understand what's going on spiritually, energetically, this will help that. You can add on any sort of shamanic practice and sort of ritual that you want to on top of that, but ultimately you will have an awareness that is very keenly developed. And I think any sort of, I feel like mediumship and psychic awareness live outside of any specific modality. And so what we teach you ends up helping you in literally any pathway that you end up taking. So that is what I say. Let me see over here. Love the tree. Hi, Michael. How are you? I'm doing really well. Just talked about that yesterday. Destiny says, your tree is beautiful. Thank you, A. Mario says the tree's a big hit. Yeah, guys, keep talking about that tree. I love it. I spent a lot of time doing that. It's a beneficial tool. Might actually help more. Oakbridgeinstitute.org for more information on classes and courses. Hopefully you're feeling better, Nat. I hope you guys are feeling better over there. Okay, let's keep going. Other questions?
I mean, I always have questions.
Please,
Julia, do you have anything?
It's just
I'm gonna.
right now.
I was making my list of all the different stuff and all the examples and all, making a sheet basically of the healing stuff. And I just had a question between the movement and passes and ping. Kind of like what is, I know the difference, but what do you think the difference in energy is in that?
Between the different ways you send the energy?
Well, just what ping would do and what movement and passes would do.
Oh, I see. So
Um,
like how the distribution, like how you're doing
yeah,
those different ones, what is it, how is it impacting the way it's being absorbed, essentially,
yeah,
or like
yeah.
impacting them? Yeah, gotcha. So pinging for me is sort of this like boom, 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 with this sort of back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. There's something kind of rapid about that that feels to me like it is sort of not erasing, but just like shaking out whatever's not needed. So that very much feels to me like this sort of disrupting whatever pattern is there. You can think of it almost like friction, like on a muscle. It's like disrupting the muscular pattern or whatever. There's a similarity, I feel like, with the pinging that shoots back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth to like disrupt it and kind of reset it, so to speak, and kind of clear it out, right? So if you have a tube and you're taking a brush and it's like a little wire brush thingy, bob, you're like doing the tube. Okay. Janelle, I can never do anything and not have you laugh.
No,
That was pretty direct though.
you were doing it for a while.
I was
That's
doing
why.
it for a while.
Yeah.
I was doing it for a while. And I
Going
can't
and
blame you
going.
for that. I can't blame you for that. But just to see the little smirk pop up, I lose it. I can't hold that. But anyway, I love that type of humor anyway, so that works for me. Anyway, think about you're scrubbing something that has a hole in it, and you kind of sometimes have to go if things are caked on or baked in or whatever you want to call it, and then you're flushing that out. So that's what I would say with pinging. And then passes, and what's the other one?
Well, that honestly answers it. It was movement and passes because I think with ping, I didn't really use it because I wasn't doing it in a rapid rate.
Yeah, it's about rapid.
It was so that makes total sense.
Yeah.
For doing it at a quicker, yeah. Okay.
And then passes are just a movement. I kind of think that there is a natural sort of movement of the energy that is like more balanced when it kind of goes like downward and like cleared out sort of all the way through whatever, if you want to call them meridians or energy pathways. When you're doing passes, you're sort of resetting them, you're clearing them so that they can run properly. And when they can run properly, things start working physically.
Yeah. Okay. Your fingers, when you're doing that, has like glitter. Did you see that?
No, I didn't. Is it because of the Christmas tree?
Probably, yeah. It looks like energy all around.
I see the glitter too. I see the glitter too.
Oh my god, that's so cool. Glitter. I love glitter. I don't know if you guys know that about me, but anything that sparkles, oof, give it to me. Gems,
I came home with
glitter. From my house? Yeah, I'm sure you did.
Yes. I was finding glitter on my face and I'm like, where is this from?
My home. My home.
If you guys like glitter, I really recommend the indie makeup company Surreal Makeup. Like beautiful glitter. Well, yeah, glitter makeup. It's great.
Do you know if they use the kind that's like made from kelp or if it's like the little plastic or glass?
I'd have to double check. I mean, so I've talked to the owner. I guess she lives in the Michigan area, so she's always doing like pop-ups. And she said that the reason she got into makeup is because her skin is so sensitive that like she couldn't wear anything else. And then she met like a cosmetic chemist and he taught her basically like everything he knows. And then she started the company. So I assume it's going to be as free of irritants as possible.
Gotcha. Okay, awesome. What's it called again?
Surreal Makeup.
Cool. I love a costume.
So I have
all that sort of thing. So thank you. You were saying, Julia?
Yeah. Oh yeah, and then I have another question. So this one is about the intersection of psychism and astrology again.
Yeah.
So
I lost you.
Within the
I lost you for a moment. Go ahead again.
Okay. Within the archetypes, that there's many ways the archetypes can manifest in placements. And so I was wondering to what degree you use intuition while you give an astrology reading, and what you think. Yeah.
I love that. So I had an incredible astrology teacher, as I was mentioning to you earlier today. I had a really incredible astrology teacher called Arthur Chadbourne, who's in spirit now. And I remember when I first met him, and I remember we were talking about astrology, and I remember going, yeah, and I will look at someone's chart, and I kind of intuit sort of what things mean. And I think that also helps me like with my astrology. And he goes, oh, that's very interesting. How would you feel if you were in an airplane and the pilot was intuiting where you were going and how to fly the plane? And I was like, huh, really good point there, Arthur. Yeah, that wouldn't be great. And he's like, astrology is the same. It will tell you the information. You will not have to use your intuition to get it. That being said, and he's absolutely correct. All the information is in the chart. You will see it clearly. If you understand what to look for, it will tell you every little bit of detail that you could possibly want. You do not need to use your intuition. That being said, I can look at a chart, and maybe this is just because I'm good. I've always been working with symbols and what things mean and represent. I can look at a chart and tell someone a lot about themselves, even if it's not in that. I don't even have to actually look at the chart and use it sort of as a divination tool, so to speak, such as like tarot cards or something else, throwing the bones, whatever it is. By looking at just someone's chart, I can just start to zone in and start to intuitively pick up on facts and things about their lives. I have to actually consciously not do that if I don't want to do it, because it's such a natural thing for me to just like look at something symbolic and start to get information about their lives beyond what's actually said in the chart. So that is a thing. And I feel like astrology is very left brain, if we're going to use this kind of terminology. Left brain, mediumship, psychic awareness is very right brain. And so I actually won't do psychic or mediumship readings after an astrology reading. I always put the psychic and mediumship readings first, because it moves me too much into my analytical side, which is death to your mediumistic or psychic awareness. But it can be done. Does that answer your question, Julia?
Yeah, absolutely. That's so interesting about you separating when you do which, because all the time when I do astrology, I do feel so stimulated after, because I am taking in so many data points. I do not use my intuition in the same way you do at this time in my astrology journey. And I completely agree with your teacher that it's not necessary, but I do think there's a place for it. So
yeah, I think it can be very, very interesting, and ultimately, I think astrology is great for getting matter of fact things and keeping your thinking mind out of it, which is ultimately what we want to do. Keeping your thinking mind. I mean, in the sense of what I can get astrologically can be very different than what I can get psychically, because of my own biases and things like that. Whereas, so like when I want to know something, just when is this thing going to happen, I'm likely going to use astrology, because that tends to be more accurate as far as timing goes. If I'm a little bit more lax and it's not so imperative, or I need to like remote view something or try to do something like that, obviously psychism is going to be a much stronger thing. Like I don't ever really pull cold cases like in astrology. I'll only use my psychic awareness. So even though you probably could ask a question and get the information from that. So yeah, I definitely separate the two as much as I can, just because I would rather use my astrology when I'm using my astrology and using my psychic when I'm using my psychic. And if I'm ever feeling not unsure about something, astrologically, I might cheat a little bit and go, okay, well, what does this mean psychically? Like then I just go, oh, okay, got it. And then I understand what that is. So I also think the other world uses our references, and because astrology is such a natural part of what I've done for so long, I feel like it's pretty easy to kind of get into that. Like it's such an easy reference for the spirit world for me.
Yeah, after I started studying astrology, I started to receive psychic information using astrological symbols, and it
Yep.
was still very accurate.
Exactly. And that's the thing. That's why it is so helpful for our psychic awareness, is because it's the symbols, right? It's one thing to be like, let me look at this placement and this thing. It's another thing to go, let me look at this chart as a whole and just sort of notice what's standing out to me. What is, I mean, they're all symbolic, and that's what helps your intuition come out. Your intuition comes out with a sense of non-linear thinking. So if I have a bunch of symbols that I have a somewhat idea of what they represent, those start to work together in harmony to start to bring forward information. So yes, that's why I think it works. That's also why the color system works. So those of you who are taking color with us in the psychic awareness, that's why it works so well. There's some meaning that is initially experienced from there, but it's not so rigid that it's going to get you into your thinking mind. And so it's an easy access point to get into your, subconscious and your intuitive awareness. So yeah. There we go. Stephanie, your tree looks great. Thank you. Merry Christmas. Hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing well, Stephanie. Stephanie says, I've gotten an astrology reading from Michael and highly recommend him. Thank you. That's very kind. Oh, this is a beautiful man. Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. I'll always take compliments. Hi, Michael. I have a question. When a student medium stops practicing but comes back, in your experience, do they see them struggle reconnecting with the spirit or trusting what they receive? Not generally. I feel like you can jump back into your mediumship. It's like riding a bike. You can jump back as whenever you want to. And it may take a little bit, just if you start sitting in the power again, that's probably a good way to make sure that you're getting back into that flexibility of your awareness. But that's just true if you stop sitting in general. So it doesn't matter whether you're still doing your or mediumistic, I almost said astrological, mediumistic awareness, like you're developing your mediumship. You would still need to keep sitting in the power, otherwise you're going to experience the same thing. So no, I don't think, Linda, that there's any real struggle there. Just start sitting in the power before you start and you'll be fine. Hello, Jacqueline. Welcome.
I think Nat had a question
up there. Did I miss it?
Yeah.
That is so fascinating. Is astrology something that is coming to Oakbridge? It is. It is coming to Oakbridge. I'm going to try to find where I can put it this year. It's a long journey of study. And so what I would be teaching is more of like a foundational sort of thing, and then probably teaching Ori astrology, because I find that to be a really powerful thing. In fact, when I teach astrology, I teach you Ori astrology first, and then we move into more complex forms. And actually, that's traditionally how astrology was taught, because with with Ori astrology, it's very black and white. You either are going to get the job on the 26th or you're not. Your keys are upstairs on the table or it isn't. You are going to have XYZ happen or you're not, and you're going to find out that information very quickly. Your cat is in the living room or the cat is not in the living room. All of those things, like learning how to answer very simple questions like that, teaches you the rules of astrology very quickly. And what that ends up doing is that then you can broaden it out a little bit further. If you know that XYZ means this, now you take that same sort of pattern and then you make it a little bit broader. So it's not just a yes or no question or if, when sort of question. It's what's going to happen over the lifetime of this person. So natal astrology actually should be taught later after Ori. You should get good at Ori first, in my opinion, so that you have the rules understood very well, and then you move to natal astrology. However, thanks to the late in the 1800s when so-and-so Leo something was being put on trial for fortune telling. He said, "No, I'm not. I am just doing I'm just doing psychology. I'm just helping people understand the self." And that's why modern astrology now views this very psychological based, like, personality creates destiny versus the historical or traditional way of looking at astrology was the stars just dictate what's going to happen. Your chart dictates circumstances that will happen, and that shapes destiny. So that's the big switch between, modern astrology and traditional astrology. Fun fact for the day. Chanel?
I was saying that's interesting. I was going to ask the students at Oakbridge, the advancing students, are they still booking readings? Or do they just have like a
They have one
couple
more
weeks?
week, so there might be a few left. So if I were you, I would go on to oakbridgeinstitute.org and book with one of our student readers before they are done with that. And those same students are going to be likely moving into the fellowship program as well. But I would definitely, help them with their last couple of their last week or so of reading. I think they just do one more week. Because I think this is the second to the last class. Or we just had the second to the last class. Hey, Travis. Yep, Nat says this is the last week. Go to oakbridgeinstitute.org to book with an advanced student. Yep, all my advancing students are like, yes, Michael, it is the last week, because I never know anything. So if I don't write it down, guys, I don't know anything, okay? I'm a Pisces sun with Mercury and Pisces. I don't know shit. My memory is like this long, and I write everything down. And if I don't write everything down, then I don't have it, But you know what it does help me with? Connecting with the freaking spirits, okay? Non-linear thinking, which is so odd because what I teach is so step by step. So I think I have some very contradictory astrological pieces that make up little old me. But anyway, Janelle, other questions?
Going for me. I don't know if I have any more. Like I'm blank on them right now.
Okay.
I always have a lot, but
Nell says, I don't know what that means, but I look forward to finding out after taking your astrology classes. Yeah, they're good. They're very good.
Yeah, well, I'll just say energy has been awesome because I think I was having issues feeling. For me, I always go back to just feeling the energy. That's like just everything to me. And the healing class is kind of like, it's not mediumship, but it's really helping me like navigate the movement, where stuff's at, where it's going. And I think it's going to be actually really helpful in my mediumship too, for some reason.
I love that. And I do think that there is something really lovely about, letting energy flow, especially the more passive states of working with the healing energy. One thing I will say that I've noticed is the slight difference in how I interact with the energy. I'm noticing for myself, I have to be somewhat mindful of, because I know that when I'm working, if I'm doing zone or I'm doing like proxy solution, those are more passive in my mind. Like I'm in a much more passive state versus when I'm doing things like needles or, moving into a specific area and working on that energetically. While there's a passive component, there is definitely also an active component. And I do find for myself, and this may not be true for you, Janelle, but I've noticed for myself, if I do too much activity, I find when I go back to mediumship, there's a little bit more activeness in my awareness than I would want. So I'm just naming that so that way, if you do find that to happen to you too, just know that that's that subtle bit that we have to just kind of be careful of, is like being in that passive state and becoming too active because maybe we're getting used to it in the healing state, and staying in that really, really passive state that we want to be in. So just a thought.
Yeah, I haven't noticed it yet, but I already have that issue of wanting to figure it out and know. So that's already a thing I would need to work on.
Yeah.
So,
Lily asks, when life events pull you away from spiritual practices, sitting in the power readings, etc., how do you come back to it? So that's a great question. I'm glad you're asking it. So one of the things I always say is you will never have time. You have to make time. So that's one of my challenges too. I think one of my biggest things that is hard for me as a professional medium is when I feel that volume going down. However, I recognize if I feel like the volume of my mediumship is sort of going down, meaning I'm not able to become aware of it, I need to make it a priority to sit. So you just have to create time. You won't have time. There will not be time. Same thing with going to the gym. You'll never have time. You just have to make time. And so same thing here. You have to actually say, I'm getting up 30 minutes earlier. I am, instead of scrolling on my phone for X amount of time, I'm going to wait on that and do this thing. It's more about the discipline when life starts to pull you away. That being said, if life's pulling you away because things are really, really stressful, really, really challenging, all these sorts of things, you need to take the break to deal with those things. Like go and deal with life because life is asking you to deal with the things that need to happen. So it's okay for you to take a break. I don't want everyone to ever feel like they have to keep doing these things when life is saying take a break. So that's important. Coming back to it is just making the conscious choice, and it's going to feel uncomfortable and you probably will be antsy and you probably won't want to do it. You literally just have to create and carve out time in your schedule to sit in the power. Start small. Sit for 10 minutes. Sit for 15 minutes. Just doing those small little acts towards creating that new habit is something that's going to support you in returning fully back to where you want to be. I know for myself, I'll say, okay, Michael, you're only going to sit for 15 minutes. You can sit for 15 minutes. And then once you start, then you like it. And then you go, oh, okay. And you just keep sitting for longer than 15 minutes. Or if you do just do the 15 minutes, you go, great. I can do 15 minutes. And that's something I'm doing towards getting me back into the zone. And that's good enough, right? Something is better than nothing. And it also is symbolic for your subconscious that like, okay, I am making progress. I am moving forward. Another thing that I like to do too is let's say I really don't have time. It's 15 minutes earlier in the day, 15 minutes in the evening. And then that way I got my whole 30 minutes in that day. Plus, you probably need it more when life is getting crazy. You probably do need the time to quiet yourself and all sort of things. It's just the feeling of like, oh, I have so many things going on. I have all these things. I really don't have time. I could really use an extra 15 minutes. If your life feels like that right now, you need the quiet time for yourself. You need that decompression time period. So give yourself the gift of that if that's what's going on, is what I would say. Other thoughts, other questions before we wrap it up here? I don't know if Nat ever responded if she's feeling better or not yet. I know it was just yesterday that they were not doing too well because of the flu is the worst.
I think she's just starting. I mean, hopefully she doesn't get it as bad.
You're welcome, Lily. Finally out of work. Are you going live tonight? Yeah, that's a great question. Probably is my answer. There's a good chance I'll go live tonight. Question mark. I don't know. Maybe. Depends on how I feel, but probably. I feel pretty solidly connected. So I haven't done readings in a while, so I should probably do some readings for the people. Oh, okay, Nat. So you're not getting worse, which is great. Flu came back negative, so flu-like virus, and it's ramping up. Oof. I'm so sorry. Just lots of fluids, lots of rest, vitamins. Really just rest. I mean, there's nothing. I mean, that's the annoying things. You really can never do anything. It's just so powerless. Lots of greens, a lot of micronutrients, but just helping to support your body. But your body will kick it, 5 days maybe. Give it 5 days. That's what I always say. 5 days from when you start. You only got 5 days of hell. And then after that, it starts to go better. So
To go better.
yeah, I want better.
Okay, if you have a second, I have a question from Nat.
Yeah.
It's a long one, so well, it can't fit in the chat. So she keeps feeling a communicator, and unknowingly she describes a sitter the sitter then points it out, and then I move on to focus on who is giving me this info. So like she's getting somebody and they describe stuff about the sitter. She gives that information. Sitter goes, "That's me," and then she moves on and connects. Is it something she'll outgrow or something she can do to change it from happening?
Just
or
make sure that you're not accidentally picking up psychically. That's really what it is. Just make sure that you're not accidentally picking up psychically. The energy doesn't feel like it's, you're getting it this way. Make sure it's coming from the communicator. It could be, again, that the spirit person is talking about it. However, if you're getting it as a pattern, you can offer the intention to the spirit world and say, hey, can you make sure that you start off with describing the spirit communicator and not like yourself and not the sitter? Just that simple thing might fix it, Nat, but it may be that you may be picking up a little bit on the person. You feel the communicator, which is why it's confusing. Yeah, and that makes sense. Remember that we can feel a communicator, but not necessarily have them be giving me something. I can just be picking up on something. So what I would say is really let that blending of that person that's coming to you happen. So it's one thing to have them there. It's another thing to feel the blending. Really let them come in close, let them blend, and then see where you go from there. But if it is a thing, we can definitely have a look at it a little more closely and see what's happening like in the energy as well, to try to remedy that. But ultimately, you can just set the intention. Yeah, Janelle?
But if you're doing platform though, because when I do platform settings, they it's pretty much who it is. You know what I mean? Like there's these things they glimpse at you and you go over and it shoots you to the spot or whatever. That's not similar to this. I know. I was just thinking how those little things though in platform, because I freaking love platform,
it's the best.
Are fun and kind of helpful because I don't know if it's them or what it is, but usually I'm like, oh, it's this person. I'm already like wanting to go to their energy or go to them, in a way. But yeah.
I love that. So, I can see, that would be nice if you can like just take your attention to just think of it like the flashlight, right? If I open my awareness, where's the flashlight leading me? Where's the energy leading me? Where am I being drawn? Where am I being pulled? And just make sure that we're making sure that that's going to the communicator. So I'm being drawn to them. And then where are they leading me to the person, right? I personally love platform. I think platform is my favorite thing to do.
It's my favorite.
It's just
literally
easy. It's just easy and fun and playful and discovery and all those great things. In fact, actually, we're having a in-person. So anyone in Southern California, we're having in-person platform demonstration. Me and Christine Parkin, end of December. I want to say it's the last Saturday or something before the new year. Yeah.
Where's the flyers? Where's the
I have to actually
send the stuff. What are we doing?
I have to send that out today. So right after this, I'm gonna go send that to the people so that they can promote it. But it's at Awakenings, store in Laguna Hills. So
yeah. Ooh.
Oh, Nat says I'll jump on a plane. Tell me when. Yeah, it's let me just see where it is.
I love in person. In person is just love it.
That is on the 27th of December. So that'll be fun. Let's see. Sarah Michelle says, oh my God, hello. I asked for your book for Christmas. Amazing. Oh, thank you. Nicole says, I'm reading it now. It's so amazing. Thank you so much. That's so sweet, folks. I just stepped down from my management job today to have more time to focus on mediumship. Amazing, Sarah. Oh my God, congratulations. Yeah, I hope you enjoy the book and I hope that it's helpful. And I'm always here to support you either through Oakbridge Institute or through my mentoring program. So you just let me know if there's anything I can do to help you with that. With that in mind, though, we're going to wrap it up here. So I want to say thank you to everybody. I may come on later to do some readings. You'll see me on whatever platform you're watching on because I always stream it to all of them. But I want to say thank you to Julia and Janelle for being here, Nat always being helpful in the chat, and everybody supporting and helping today. Love you all, and we will see you later. Okay?
Hey.
Thanks. Bye. And now comes the process of going live and all of these different things and stream.